Okay, so this is the distributive property. We have already learned the commutative property. That tells us that we can either add anything in any order or we can multiply anything in any order, and you're going to come out with the same answer. Well, so now we're talking about the distributive property. Let me show you how it works. I have 4 times 5 minus 3 right here. The way that we normally would think to solve it would be like this. I start with my parentheses, 5 minus 3. I know that's 2. 4 is on the outside, so oops, fix that. So I have 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And that's how I would normally solve it. But I could solve it a different way. In the distributive property, I distribute my 4 to my 5 and to my 3 with multiplication, like this. 4 times 5 minus 4 times 3. So I've distributed it to each one of my terms. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12. And 20 minus 12 equals 8. So I ended up with the same answer. That's my distributive property. That when I have a number or variable outside of parentheses, I can distribute it to each term within those parentheses and get the same answer. So here I have the definition. With any whole number and or variable, I have a times b plus c plus d on into infinity. The distributive property tells me that I can do a times b plus a times c plus a times d plus on and on and on into infinity. Let's do some examples. Here I have 4 times 6 minus 2 plus 5 minus 7. Now before you panic and say, oh, but there's subtraction symbols, that's fine, because remember, in algebra, subtraction is the same as adding a negative. So anytime you see subtraction, it's the same as adding a negative. So to use my distributive property, which is what your book says you need to do, we start out like this. I'm going to multiply 4 times each one of the terms within my parentheses. So I have 4 times 6 minus 4 times 2. Or I could say 4 plus 4 times a negative 2. Either one's fine, but I'm going to do minus 4 times 2 right now. No, actually I take it back. I'm going to do plus 4 times a negative 2, excuse me. Hard for me to write from the side like this. Sorry, guys. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is to help you to get accustomed to always keeping your sign with your number. So this is really a negative 2. So it's 4 times 6 plus 4 times negative 2. Plus, that's a positive 5. So 4 times 5. Now this is a negative 7, so we'll do plus. 4 times a negative 7. Okay, now I multiply each one of these terms. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8. Plus 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. Okay, and now I add my terms together, going from left to right. 24 plus a negative 8 is a positive 16. 16 plus 20 is a positive 36. 36 plus negative 28 is what? Positive 8, right? If you got positive 8, you are correct. So that's how you do it. Let's look at the next one. Mn times x plus y plus 2. So for this one, all I need to do is distribute my variables. You don't actually have to do any of the multiplying because you don't know what your variables are. So these are always fun. because you don't have to worry about the math part. You just get to manipulate the letters, which is fun to me. So I have mn times x plus y plus 2p. So to distribute mn to each one, I have mn times x plus mn times y plus mn times 2p. Now I can simplify this and write it without all of the parentheses. Sorry for the glare that's in the video. Okay, so I can just write mn x plus mn y plus. Now for this one, I'm going to move around a little bit. I'm going to put my 2 in front just because I like to put the numbers in the front, but really it doesn't matter. Plus 2 mn p. And that would be your final answer. Okay? Nice and simple, right? Let's go to the next one. X minus 3y plus xz times mp. We're going to multiply across. Pardon me. So I have x minus 3y plus xz times mp first times x. mp times x plus mp times negative 3y plus mp x z. And now to finish it off, I'm just going to simplify by taking away my parentheses. I'm just multiplying m, p, and x all together plus, excuse me, negative 3 m p y plus m p x z. And that's your final answer. The only other thing that you could also do to change it is if you wanted to get rid of this parentheses, since you're adding a negative, you know that that's the same as subtraction. So you say mpx minus 3mpy. All right, let's look at the last problem before your practice. Negative 3 times 2x minus 4. So I multiply negative 3 times 2x plus negative 3 times negative 4. Okay? Oops, sorry guys, I just hit the desk. There we go. I had to fix the camera too because my phone running out of battery, you know, all that fun stuff. Anyway, so I have negative 3 times 2x. What does that give you? You multiply your numbers together, do nothing to your letter, so you have negative 6x plus negative 3 times negative 4, positive 12. So negative 6x plus 12. Okay, pause your video now and do your practice. Okay, so let's go over your practice. Letter A was just asking you to show this, that the distributive property goes from A times B plus C to A times B plus A times C. Now on that note, by the way, it is not possible to do the opposite. If you had A plus B times C, you could not distribute. It only works like this. Letter B is just this, 4 times 5 minus 3, doing the addition first, 5 minus 3 is 2, and then you're multiplying, 4 times 2 is 8. And then letter C was this one, where you're using the distributive property. You multiply first, 4 times 5 minus 4 times 3, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 3 is 12, then you do your adding, 20 minus 12 is 8. So, really not sure what was going on with their practice today. They had you do some of the ones that we've already done, but that's all right. Letter D just said when we multiply first, we say we are using the distributive property. Use the distributive property to evaluate that expression, and that was just the same as one of the examples that we did, 15.1. So your final answer should have been 8 for that one. All right, then expand by using the distributive property. So letter E, you should have gotten xya plus xyb minus 2cxy. Okay? And the last one, and by the way, it does not matter the order of your letters. If you have A in front of xy and B in front of xy, it's fine. If you have 2c in the back, it's fine because you're multiplying and the order doesn't matter. As long as you have the same letters and numbers, the order of your letters and numbers does not matter, and the sign in front is the same. Okay, and then for letter F, when you distributed, you should have gotten for the first one, you had mn minus 3 times 4x. So it gave you 4x times mn minus 4x times 3 was 12x, so it was minus 12x. Then you had minus 3 times 2x minus 4. So the negative 3 times 2x is a negative 6, and the negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. Now I'm not done because notice these have the same variables. So I know that these are like terms because their variables are exactly the same. So I can combine them. I keep my variable the same and I just simplify the coefficients. So negative 12 minus 6 is the same as negative 12 plus a negative 6. So that's a negative 18. So your final answer should have been 4xmn minus 18x plus 12. If you got this answer, that's okay, but this is the answer you should have, excuse me, eventually realized is what you needed. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.